this is Hans from the Eclectic podcast, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Takara Tomy Transformers LG16 Slipstream. This is a remold of Windblade, and something I was kind of curious to take a look at. I was kind of excited about the paint deco on this, so I really wanted to see, and I kind of hoped they would make some fixes that the North American release had, especially with the heel spurs. So real quick, we'll take a look at the box. Of course, Transformers Legends, LG16, I'm guessing that says Slipstream right there in Japanese. On the side of the box, it shows half of her robot mode. On the back, it shows her in her alt mode as well as in bot mode, and then I guess it's still got that crazy comic that we got with Nightbird Shadow. And there she is in kind of a cool little animated form. Bottom of the box, no idea. I have no idea what it says. But let's go ahead, let's open this up and take a look at what's inside. So here she is out of the package. And right off the bat, we do get two null rays, both silver. Dose null rays. They look good. I mean, they're nothing too special. Just I think they're painted silver, but they're nicely molded. We also get, I don't know if this is a contest. I don't know what it is, but it's something that has no use for me. And then, of course, we do have the full color instructions here. Nice animated thing on the front, and then I still don't understand this comic. It is so ridiculous and funny and like just comical. Business Trip, I think is what it's called, but I don't know. And then of course we do have our tech specs, and again I do like that they do have them listed in English right there, which is a really nice plus. Makes it easier for us that are importing these figures to understand what the technical specs of these figures are. And then of course you open it up, and then you got your black and white instructions on how to transform her, but that's not something that I really concern myself with. Don't need it. Don't care. Get out of here. So here's the figure, and I've got to say the paint job is phenomenal. I really like the colors. The purple with the kind of that turquoise green almost. I mean, they just really, they complement each other well. And then she's got some little red accents on there. You do have the same gaps that you had with Windblade. I like the red right there that's kind of picked out on the engine, right there on the front, below the legs. That looks really good. Cockpit looks nice. The VTOL motors, if I could talk, they still actually articulate inside of there, and they do spin. So that's kind of a nice touch. I mean, that's something that's really necessary. But just something kind of cool that they added. Again, I wish, and I was really hoping that they were going to fix some of the issues this figure had with the original release. You do still have a retractable landing gear up front. The ones on the rear are actually stationary, so they don't go anywhere, obviously. But yeah, the color scheme looks great. So the null rays, they're supposed to just peg on underneath here on these fins off the arms. And in alt mode like this, it doesn't work the best. As you can see, I'm having a hell of a time trying to get those things on there. They don't peg in as well as they do in bot mode. Bot mode, they peg in great. But in this mode, it's kind of like, It's kind of a tension fit, and it kind of works, but it's not the best that it could be. Apply the one on the other side here. Yeah, I'm trying to get that plugged in. Okay. So there she is, all weaponed up. Not a whole lot going on with her. Let's go ahead and let's get her transformed. Pop these things off here. First thing we'll do, well, before we flip out the legs, we'll go ahead and flip these parts of the wings back up and kind of separate them away from the fuselage all the way around, and just kind of move them up and get them out of the way. Then you want to go ahead and separate the legs, flip down, or actually just remove or untab the front of the legs there themselves, move them forward, and then you want to twist these stabilizing thrusters on the back, or wings on the back. You just want to twist them around and unpeg those heel spurs that she's got, which are the bane of this figure's existence. It really causes all the issues. Go ahead and do that with one leg. Same thing on the opposite side. Bring down that heel spur. Rotate that thruster around. I just get them backwards. Flip that down. Bring down the leg, and it just covers right over the top. And there, the legs are finished. Kind of just give ourselves some room here with that. Rotate that around 180 degrees. Flip up the landing gear if you haven't done that already, and then just kind of rock that back and then just push it back down. It's got a double hinge there. Flip open the chest cavity and pop out the head. Boop. Get that kind of unpegged up there. Then what you want to do is, before you close that back up, is move these arms up into place. Rock the shoulders up there, and then bring the arm back down. You just want to have that armature, the arms are actually on, kind of back behind that chest piece there. And then you can collapse that chest. Get that nice and secure. Bring the arms down. And then her shoulder pads on there. You can go ahead and you can bring those up. Just like that. Like meow. Like meow. Meow. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You can, these wings do kind of articulate, so you can kind of adjust them however you kind of want, just to kind of get them out of the way. But that's really it for the transformation of the figure. We'll go ahead and we'll attach the null rays. And like I said, in alt mode they don't go on so well, but on bot mode, they go on perfectly fine. They just clip in really easy. No issue. They feel much better this way than what they do the other way. So there she is, kind of standing, and you got to kind of cheat it with this figure, mainly just because those heel spurs are so awful. I really hoped Takara would have fixed that and found a new way to do that. Unfortunately, they did not. They're still the same horrible heel spurs that we got in the States. Real quick, let's take a look at the head. You do get a little bit of movement, but it's kind of tight. You don't get a whole lot in that head sculpt there, but there is some movement in there. Let's get a close-up of that head sculpt real fast. It's a really nice sculpt itself. Really kind of reminds me of Starscream from Transformers Prime, but I do like how she has that little smirk. I don't know, it fits. Some people will say, well, she shouldn't be that happy. She should be a little bit more evil looking, and I don't know, I think it works. The arms, you actually, if you move them with the wings, you can get them out about that far. And because of the way they are articulated with the wings themselves, you can go full 360 all the way around. So you get plenty of motion there. You got to bend at the elbow. Get you a pretty good bend. And then because it is on the ball joint, you kind of do get a swivel, but not much. Thighs. You do get the hip rotation, but that's due to transformation. Thighs, because of the way they're kind of carved out, you can see kind of right there that ball, and then the way that that's embedded in the hip itself. If you kick it out, you can actually get a pretty good range of motion going out with them. Like me all. Get pretty good motion back. And then you can go pretty far forward. And so you can already see that heel spur already kicked itself back up. And then you get a wicked nice knee bend there. Really nicely done. Heel spurs. Heel spurs and the gaps in the figure itself, I think, are the biggest issues. And that's, I think, what causes me the biggest concern. But it is what it is. Okay. I got this from Shapeways. I went on ahead and I purchased the 3D printed heel spurs to correct this figure. And they do come in multiple colors just to kind of match what you've already got, which is kind of a nice plus. So it'll work with Windblade or with Slipstream here. I went on ahead and I did the gray. They've got a really gritty kind of texture to them. but I got them because they kind of match the engines, and I don't know, I just thought it was a nice little accent color to her. So I'll go ahead and I'll prop these off the sprue, and then we'll take a look and see what kind of stability that actually adds to the figure. So let me go ahead and let me break these off. And again, this was from Shapeways. So there they are, actually applied onto the figure. I mean, they weren't hard. You just had to pull out the old spurs and put these in place. And it adds a great amount of stability to the figure. It really allows you to get her to stand the way that she should be standing, which is nice. You don't have to hassle with trying to fight to get her to stand. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. All in all, I think the figure's great. I love the paint scheme. I think in a way the spirit is captured properly. The problem is the mold is lacking, and they haven't fixed that yet. Having to go to Shapeways to actually get the proper heel spurs for is kind of ridiculous and redundant, but it's still a cool figure to have for the colors. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon. What makes this podcast unique?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan, 130 the Eclectic Podcast, just coming at you right now, letting you know we'll be on into YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on back now. Be the third subscriber. You get absolutely nothing. Thank you so much. And please listen to the Eclectic Podcast because we are amazeballs.
Yeah, we're probably not quoting Mel Gibson ever again.
If you want to listen to lizard people or hear all about lizard people, lizard people, let them go, lizard people!